Hey Lou, my name is Tracy and welcome to Criminal Traces. On this channel, I'm going to cover murder, mystery, and mayhem. Every crime leaves a trace, and lucky for you, I'm right here. Now, this episode is a little different because I have a special guest, the person that introduced me to true crime through her marathons of Snapped on TLC, my mom.
Hello, everyone.
This is Mama T. She's not going to be in the video, but she is going to have a mic on and she's going to be like asking questions, adding commentary and whatnot. So if you hear her voice, it is her lovely voice. Okay. Today we're going to talk about a woman named Darlene Flynn. Hailing from Menifee, California, and previously an accountant, Darlene was also known as the Shoe Lady or the Queen of Soul. Get it? Her shoe collection began in 2001 when she divorced from her husband and visited her cousin Karen, who had her own miniature shoe collection. Darlene was intrigued and then began her own collection and upped it. You know how breakups are. You really need a distraction. Well, Darlene's distraction became so incredible that she went on to become nationally known for her extensive collection of shoes and shoe-shaped items, totaling to over 15,000 pairs and individual pieces. 15,665 to be exact. This fact was officially verified by the Guinness Book of World Records in 2006. Some of these unique items ranged from shoe-shaped phones, shoe ornaments, shoe jewelry, to pictures and paintings of shoes, shoe furniture, a shoe tattoo, you name it, she had it. She even owned a replica of Disney's Cinderella glass slipper and Dorothy's red slippers from The Wizard of Oz. And this wasn't a cheap obsession either. Darlene reported that she one time spent 1,350 euros on one single miniature shoe, adding to her total collection value of about 380,000 euros, which would be around the higher end of $500,000 in 2024. She almost even became the real-life lady who lived in a shoe, having once placed a $6,000 bid on eBay to purchase a 16-foot by 20-foot building shaped like a shoe. But unfortunately, somebody else beat her to the punch. Darlene had a lifelong dream of opening up a museum to showcase her unique collection of shoe items, and actually already had a shoe exhibit in Hong Kong. Random, right? During her first trip to Hong Kong, Darlene toted about 1,000 items from her beloved collection to be displayed at the All About Shoes exhibition. I'm not sure if her shoes are still presented in the exhibition as like an homage to her life or her collection, but check it out and let me know, comment below. Ironically, despite the plethora of shoes surrounding her, Darlene could only functionally wear about 100 or so of them. One night out at a local bar called Ponderosa, Darlene decided to wear her show-stopping light-up stiletto heels that she called her sexy light-up shoes. Our girl was social, okay? She loved to dress up all cute and go out, hang out with her girls at the bar, as girls do, and turn up at the club. Real single and lit bitch activities. Locals describe this spot as a dark and dingy dive bar. So close your eyes and imagine what a typical greasy biker bar to look like. A grumpy bartender, a few pool tables that are barely standing on their four legs, a local band playing music a little too loudly. Now imagine a nasty, stinky, greasy man named Justin Smith in that motherfucker and ball your face up, because I promise that's what you're gonna do when you hear what he did to her. Despite Darlene being twice Justin's age at 58, he was captivated by her crazy shoes, and they both lit up the dance floor all night. Justin wanted that one night to turn into a few, and very shortly after they met, he moved in with Darlene into her home like the homosexual he is. Justin, who went by Cowboy in his earlier years, met Darlene in a really prime time of her life. She was already known locally, but she was also offered the opportunity to be featured on a show called My Collection Obsession on TLC and became a national sensation. Justin himself mentioned how blown away he was by her collection. However, during the filming for the show, the tension in the household was palpable. Justin reported that at first, the shoe obsession was quirky, but cute. There was a scene on the show where he is only wearing an apron with no shirt and is serving her a shoe-shaped breakfast, which they claim that he did every morning. This quirky and cute hobby quickly turned into a source of contention between the two. You know the saying, like, what they love you for in the beginning is what they end up hating you for in the end.
Did he become a maid?
Not yet, but he does at a certain point. Justin mentioned that the first thing Darlene spoke of when she woke up in the morning was shoe related. He started to become burnt out by the shoe shit, okay? He was over it. But He's a homosexual. Of course he's gonna stay with the woman he no longer wants so he can have a place to lay his raggedy head at night. As you can assume by now, Justin did not work. He solely relied on Darlene for money. He started by asking and eventually just started taking without letting her know. He also would take her valuables and sell them for money. This was a recurring fight between the two. Even neighbors reported that they would hear the couple fighting pretty consistently. At one point, Justin even sold Darlene's car, her vehicle.
My God.
I can't believe it. For $7,500.
That's insane.
This was Darlene's breaking point. She called the police and Justin was charged with a misdemeanor conviction for grand theft in 2012 and sentenced to 3 years of probation. Part of the probation was to have no negative contact with Darlene, but this stipulation proved to be challenging for the couple because Darlene still let him live with her. Her friends and family couldn't believe it. They encouraged her to kick him out, move on with her life, but Justin didn't have anywhere to go. And that just goes to show you what type of woman Darlene was, right? This grown man that had come and used Darlene for her money and housing was still offered grace by the very person he betrayed in the worst way. Selflessly allowing this adult baby to remain in her home, the fights intensified, which eventually led to the couple breaking up in 2013. And I know what you're thinking. Finally what? That man still lived at her house. He went from live-in boyfriend to live-in maid. So referring to what you were talking about, he did eventually turn into her maid.
What is wrong with her?
Again, I think that just goes to show like how selfless she was. She still had enough care for this disgusting baby man.
That makes sense. You know, some people are too good to a fault.
What's that saying? No good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah. And that reminds me what my mom growing up always tells us. What you use to please someone is the same thing you will use to displease that person. So be careful.
Yeah. Justin ended up doing chores as a method of repayment for his theft of Darlene's belongings. Then had the nerve to say that she was bossy and mean to him. You know what? We're not gonna get into that conflict. On July 21st, 2013, the two not estranged at all lovers had an argument over $50. Now, Justin ain't got no job, so you know that Justin ain't got no money. Whose $50 do you think they were arguing over?
It has to be the girl.
It has to be Darlene. Justin found himself stealing from Darlene again and got caught. His excuse this time was that he needed to help a friend move, so he took the $50 to fill the gas tank. Let's have a little heart-to-heart about overextending yourself. How can you pour into someone else's cup when you have no juice? You can't help someone by robbing another. That's not generosity. It's just creating a new problem to solve another one.
What car was Justin driving?
That's a good question. It was probably Darlene's car. Assuming with the money Darlene was making, there's no way that she could have remained carless. From my research, it wasn't clear whose car was used to help the friend move, but it was revealed that he took the $50 for gas.
Yes. Wow.
Now, although some might view this as proof that Justin was somewhat of a good guy, Darlene was sick and tired. She was tired of being gaslit, tired of taking care of a man she was no longer with, tired of sharing her home. Even though the neighbors were used to them fighting, this fight was different. The neighbors called the police because this fight seemed to escalate in a concerning way.
Your statement about, people thinking that Justin is somehow a nice guy. No, I don't think so. I think that whoever he was helping, he was trying to, should I say, trick again. Maybe move away from Darlene and then go over there and start mooching off of that person again.
Right. So. Maybe it wasn't a friend after all. Maybe it was a new home that he could be a homosexual at. On this particular day, when police arrived, they witnessed a shirtless Justin in the garage surrounded by shoe boxes before he took off running. He didn't make it but down the street by the time they caught and arrested him. When they searched the backyard, they found a woman face down in the pool. As they pulled her out onto the ground, it unfortunately was confirmed that this was Darlene. She was discovered to have had head injuries that rendered her unrecognizable, and an autopsy confirmed that her death was caused by blunt force trauma of the head.
What a monster.
Absolute monster. A mooch and a monster is not a good combination. When asked about this incident, Justin claimed to have blacked out and had no recollection of how Darlene died. He said that he just lost it due to the intensity of the argument that they had.
It's crazy how people say I don't remember anything. But you remember that you were blacked out.
How do you remember that she was blacked out? The math isn't mathing.
It's not mathing
It's not
at
mathing.
all.
It's not adding up. According to him, this is what happened. On the day of the argument, Darlene started pounding him in the chest and threw food storage containers at him. Then the next day, she started shoving him around the home and kind of roughing him up, calling him out of his name, telling him things like, "You're an idiot, you're garbage, you're lazy," and many other very emasculating insults. He said that she was making him feel like the bad guy.
Well,
what kind of guy are you now, Justin? He claims that he actually planned to move out that very day, but his thoughts got the best of him. As he was leaving the house, he reached for the baseball bat that they ironically kept in the home for protection. He went to the pool where Darlene was lounging, minding her own business, and he hit her in the back of the head 5 to 6 times. Justin went on to describe that although she was dazed, she was still trying to get up. So he hit her again, so hard that the bat broke from impact over her head, and she ended up falling into the pool.
So that was unprovoked.
It was unprovoked. He's trying to say is because she was pushing him and emasculating him and he got so angry, but by the time he went to go beat her in the head with the bat, she was chilling at the pool, not talking to him. Then he walked back inside to eat lunch.
Wait a minute.
A sandwich, I believe.
Excuse me? Call the ambulance or the police?
He blacked out.
But he remembered he had to go eat the sandwich.
Right.
Come on.
Come on. Justin ended up pleading not guilty, and his lawyers maintained that he did not mean to kill her. I am happy to report that 3 years after her passing, Justin was found guilty of second-degree murder in 2016 and sentenced with 16 years to life with no probation in a California prison, where he deserves to be.
Justice.
Justice was served this time. We're not going to talk about why justice was served and the race of this woman, but it was served. The judge who sentenced him called the murder one of the most violent cases that he had ever seen. Darlene's brother submitted an impact statement during the sentencing that read, "My sister had a big heart and was always there to help anyone in need.
Obviously.
And always with a big smile. Unfortunately, her trusting and forgiving nature cost her her life." Dawn Belinsky wrote in a Facebook post, "Dar was an upbeat, wonderful woman. As far as her collection, they were eventually auctioned off to other collectors, continuing the legacy of this soul sister." And that is where this story ends. I truly hope that Darlene is at peace now and surrounded by things that remind her of her love for shoes. She seemed like such a kind soul and someone who found her true passion in life. She was just living her life when all of this unfolded.
Everyone really needs to be careful. Be it a man, be it a woman, think through your decisions. Because sometimes, as we can see, Darlene had a big heart, didn't do anything wrong. By the end of the day, cost her her life.
If you or someone you know is dealing with domestic violence, leaving the relationship is the most dangerous time. If you need help to escape, please call 1-800-799-SAFE or text START, START, to 88788. This hotline is available 24/7 and offers confidential reporting, resources, support, and advice. You can also visit their website at www.thehotline.org for more information. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to give me a like, comment a pink emoji, and subscribe for more Criminal Traces. Remember, do whatever you want, just don't hurt people. See you on the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
May Darlene's soul rest in perfect peace.
Hey boo, my name is Tracy and welcome to Criminal Traces. Oh, my nail. Put this motherfucker back on. One more time. Passion in life. Oh my God. What am I trying to say? Oh, I'm gonna have to redo that because of the ambulance.